Yes, y'all. Welcome to office hours. Welcome. Happy Friday. We will get this party started here in just a moment or two. I hope everybody's having a great day. Hope it was a great week. And if you didn't get a chance to, I hope you can watch the replay of Mr. Sean Clark and I on yesterday's live session. Always great to get some time with him and get some insights from the man, the myth, the legend himself, who has the most interesting view of the agency industry in the market. That's for sure. So if you didn't get a chance to join us live, hopefully you can go and check out that replay. This is office hours. If you're not familiar with office hours, we do these generally every week and also generally every Friday, although my travel schedule here in Q1 is a little bit hectic, and so some of them are on Wednesdays. But these are pure Q&A sessions. That means I do not have anything in particular planned for you other than to answer questions, do my best to help out. So questions can be posted in the comments here, and I will see them and respond to them in order, as long as I feel like I can give a decent response to them. And then I also will put a link in here shortly if you'd like to join me on the call to answer, or excuse me, to ask any questions in person. If you have something that's a little bit more involved, needs some more explanation, some more context, something like that, then we can have a conversation on camera that way as well. Okay. Good morning, Mike. Mr. Robert Brennan. Good to see you, sir. Lisa. Good to see you. She says, great live yesterday. Awesome. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, it's so much fun to get inside of his head and hear what's going on. Absolutely. Welcome, Christy. Good to see you. I'm looking forward to seeing you in Dallas. Next week, Dallas, we will be at the HighLevel. They're putting on one of their boot camps, whatever they call them. In-person mastermind, in-person boot camp, whatever it is. I'm speaking at it. I'm looking forward to that. And looking forward to seeing some of the community there and also some of the HighLevel team. Always fantastic. What's up, Gene? Good to see you. Happy Friday. Awesome. Let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to keep us on schedule here today because I've got a flight to Las Vegas here in a few hours that I got to get to. What's up, Eric? Good to see you, sir. Awesome. Welcome. Well, that's good to hear. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate it. Please keep me posted if you find otherwise so I can help you out. All right. I'm going to start with Mike's question here. Mike says, what marketing material should I put in the hands of a new B2B networking contact met in the field? A trifold teaching the R4 and driving prospects to my agency funnel. Your thoughts? Man, Mike, that's a good question. It's been a long time, honestly, since I've used anything print to put in the hands of prospects when I meet them out in the field. And there's a couple of reasons. One is, the ideal outcome typically for meeting somebody is that I'm getting them onto my email list. I'm getting them to, check out the website, things like that. Potentially getting them into a specific funnel. And so, in today's world, typically, if I'm meeting somebody, I'm trying to just get their email, get their phone number, or I'm, literally ask them, hey, pull up your phone real quick and go to this URL, that type of thing. That's not to say, though, Mike, that it's not a good idea to have some print materials that you can deliver. I don't see that there's any downside to it other than that you're printing things and carrying them with you. But that's pretty minimal. So I will tell you what I have done in the past, Mike, that I don't think would be a problem at all still in today's marketplace. And that is having, so what I did is I just had like a little, a simple, just kind of paper not paper. It is paper, but not just, not just flimsy paper, like, a nice kind of cardboard stock, opened up um, folder with pockets on each side. And those pockets each had then, material in them. And so that folder, what I did pretty quickly is I had that folder printed, that little binder printed for my branding and stuff like that. I had a designer quickly just kind of put together a design, have our logo on it and stuff like that. And I just printed up a bunch of those folders. And that's cheap. You can get that done really, really, really inexpensively. Not that you have to do it right out of the gate, but I think it's a much nicer looking touch ultimately than just having like some plain, folder that you're giving them. And then inside on the left pocket, I had a letter from me. And in that letter, it was just just a general letter because I was just meeting somebody. Just said, hey, thank you for taking the time. If you're getting this, thank you for taking the time to have a quick conversation with me and expressing some sort of interest in our services. Here's why we started the company. Here's who we serve. Here's what makes us unique. We look forward to hearing from you. Name, phone number, email address, all that good stuff, right? So that was in the left folder. On the right folder, again, ultimately what I ended up doing was I had some sheets printed and cut specifically to go in the folder so that it was 3 layers. And so what I mean by that is that the first sheet was cut so it was like half the sheet. The next sheet was cut so it was like 3/4 of the sheet. And then the back one was a full sheet. So when you're looking at that right envelope, there's 3 sheets in there, but you can see all 3 because they're cut at different heights. Okay. And then I had each of those printed with some information about, like, you're talking about the R4 there. I had each of these printed with, some core service information. So that, they would get a decent overview of our capabilities in there. And then I didn't put, there was nothing in there that was going to be specific because this was designed for, hey, I'm just wandering around and meeting somebody. But, if we did then have somebody that we were specifically putting a proposal together for, then we could do the same thing. We'd take that same, binder, and then we would just put a proposal letter in there as well. Again, this is back when we were doing things print and stuff like that. So you could still absolutely do that. And of course, on any of that material, then you could have the URL that you want them to visit. That could be a funnel URL. It could just be your general website URL. So you're then combining the best of both worlds in that you're giving them something physical in their hands, but then you're taking as many options as you can in there to drive them to, a website as well. So that was my approach in the past. In today's world, even just having a business card, I feel like kind of stands out a little bit. Like I didn't carry business cards for years. I just started carrying business cards again pretty recently. And so on those business cards, then having, a website that you want them to visit, that type of thing, I think that works as well. So I don't think that either of these options is necessarily right or wrong, Mike. I think that ultimately, in my opinion, we're trying to get things, digital, trying to get their email address, trying to get their phone number, that type of stuff, get them to visit a funnel, get them to visit a website. But I also think that, because everybody is so focused on that, if you do something with print and you put together a nice presentation in that print material, you could absolutely stand out because not too many people are doing that anymore. Question number 2 for Mike. Is it fair to hook new $97 clients with a 1 or 2 page website and then move them to a full website when you upsell them to a full signature system? Absolutely, Mike. I think that's a fantastic idea. That could be that you put together some sort of optimized landing page for them, right? So they may already have a website and you may say, that you want to put something together that is, better for them to generate leads. And so you put together a nice optimized website for them. So that could be a really nice touch, right? So yes, absolutely. I think that that's a great opportunity. I also think that there's a lot of businesses out there that don't need more than a one-page website, like a nicely designed one-page website. And actually, one-page websites are kind of having a moment right now. There's a handful of like experts I've seen out there that's all they specialize on is one-page websites, how to create them, why they're the best thing since sliced bread, why you don't need anything more than that in most cases. So, with a really nice one-page website template, again, for most small businesses, that's actually, if it's a well-designed site, that's actually probably going to be a significant improvement over what they're currently doing, which is either some really terribly designed website that happens to have who knows how many pages, who cares, or two, that they don't have a website at all, which is still the case for a huge number of small businesses. So yeah, I don't think that that's a bad option at all. I like it. Let's see here. I have a question about some Facebook ads I'm doing for a high ticket service for a dentist. I can hop on camera if you want. Yeah, sure. Here, hold on. Let me give you the invite link and I will post that now. So posting the invite link if anybody wants to join me on camera. Okay. Alvin says, using another program for all client site, funnel, email marketing, production, planning to switch. Oh, I'm planning to switch to go HighLevel. Mike, what are the training you have, and also what snapshots is ready to offer as a service? Alvin, so this is a great question. If you go to probably the best bet here is if you go to services that scale /HLA, you'll get a good overview of the core program that you get from me if you sign up for HighLevel through me or upgrade through me, which is called High Leverage Agency. And there's a lot to it, Alvin. It is meant to be as comprehensive as I can make it, and still be focused on, here are the things that you need to do to set up your business for success and get new customers and deliver to those customers, and how to structure your services properly, how to structure your pricing properly. It's got a tremendous amount of templates, content templates, website templates, ad templates, snapshots, workflows, all that type of stuff. Now, that all being said, I do want to make sure that I am clear in my approach, Alvin, and I want to make it as clear as I can for anybody who's interested in this. I do not. I do offer, I don't know, 6, 7, whatever service snapshots, okay, and training on those services. But what I don't do, so when you say ready to offer as a service, okay, so where I stop in what I'm doing on the service delivery side is I don't try to, I make no attempt at making this just absolutely turnkey for you to try and give you the impression that you're just going to go in there, download a snapshot, and customers are paying you and you're making money and sitting on the beach. Okay. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One, because hopefully we all know that's total BS. To build a business is hard work, and there's nothing that, we're not going to just, take HighLevel and turn it on for our customers and sit on the beach. Okay. The other reason for that, which is really, really, really important, is that you need to design your services for your customers. And while 70% of it could be the same as what I'm doing for my customers, there's going to be 30% that you need to understand the customers that you're serving. You need to understand HighLevel enough that you can then go in and make changes to workflows and snapshots and things like that to make sure that they are really dialed in for the customers you're serving, for the value proposition that you're putting out into the marketplace, and for the service that you want to deliver, from an economic perspective, from a fulfillment perspective, all of that, right? It needs to be something that you've designed and thought through. And so it's who knows how much, the resources in there, Alvin, are, a lot. And here I can just pull up a quick view of it, so that I can share it with you and you can just get an idea of what I'm talking about. But again, I do not want to give the impression, and I am frustrated by anybody out there in the community that gives you the impression that it's just like, oh, here's your thing, and just turn it on, and now you've got your answers, because it's just not reality. So that being said, let me just go ahead. I'll just share my screen with you here real quick so you can just see what it is in terms of high leverage agency. You can see in here, you've got model fundamentals, okay, which is, this stuff is all absolutely critical. Model fundamentals, the model math and key to success. So understanding how this business model works, what kind of margins you need, how you create those margins, how much it costs to get a customer, all that good stuff. Core components of this model that I'm teaching you and the frameworks that I use to help you deliver the model successfully. Some training on how to choose your niche, and developing your value proposition and what to sell. So specifically how to price and package your services, foot in the door offers. Specifically, those foot in the door offers have, we have a variety of different kind of snapshots related to those. Training on how to sell, training on how to market and prospect in your first 90 days, and then more advanced and ongoing marketing training for growing your overall brand and attention in your marketplace, nurturing prospects, following up with deals, managing your opportunity pipeline. And then we get into service delivery, the all-important strategy, process, and systems around onboarding, which are absolutely critical. And then these various service components that I teach to help you deliver the best service and maximize your revenue and also your success with your customers so that you have a good stick. Right here, service blueprints. So these are probably some of the things that you're referring to: missed call text back, SMS list building as a service, websites as a service, welcome mat lead generation service, reactivate and resell services, birthday campaigns as a service, so lead generation service. So these are all examples. These are all sales materials, marketing materials, snapshots. Okay, so you've got a bunch of stuff in here. And then templates, scripts, and frameworks. So I'll just scroll through here real quick. You can see ad templates, content templates, just a whole ton of stuff. Email templates, planning templates, sales scripts and templates, funnel fillers, which are like lead magnet content, presentations, things like that. More snapshots here. There's a variety of different snapshots for you. And then in here, resources, a number of other different resources to help you. Specifically, these two around managing your growth and managing your growth of your audience, I should say, and how to execute on social media and webinars. So you've got a whole ton of stuff in here. And it's funny because I say that that's meant to be like the lean and mean version. It is meant to be like the lean and mean version. If you take all of the training content and resources I've put together over the last 10 years, that's a consolidated, as concise as I can version of it. Okay. So I hope that helps you, Alvin. Let's see here. Troy, you ready to come on? Awesome. I can hear you. How you doing, sir?
Good. How are you, Mike?
I'm great, thank you. So you got some Facebook ads you're looking to run?
Yes, sir. I've been running them for about a month now, so I got some
Cool.
feedback from that. So
Awesome.
it's for a dentist for a high ticket. Are you ready for it? The spiel.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, awesome. So it's for a high ticket service called the Opus Plasma. It's like a skin rejuvenation thing. Um, I guess the last month we've had about 35 sign ups for it. Like my offer is a free consultation and then $300 off. So the price isn't mentioned. And this is like the first like high ticket, service I've tried to run. So I'm kind of, trying different ways. But anyway, um, so two showed up. So out of 30 the first month, and then we have 5 so far this month, but two showed up, and 2 of them put a credit card on file for the dentist, but then kind of backed out and then kind of got downsold. And so we're at 0, which, in my mind isn't good. But so I'm trying to figure out, one, how to get more booked appointments, which is I'm in Rob Bailey's with the DVR, and kind of
Yep.
got the lead nurture going that way with the follow up and stuff. And then I just hooked up a booking bot for that to try to help with lead nurture, to try to get them more coming in. So one is to get more to show up. 2 out of 30 isn't good,
Yeah.
and then obviously to kind of prepare them more for a $2,000+ treatment. So that's where I'm at.
Okay, cool. So has the dentist, you said this is a dentist?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So has the dentist been selling this service prior to you running ads? Have they been selling it successfully?
So I wouldn't say successfully. If it was my practice, they started back in like July and August. They'd done kind of a group seminar thing, and there's about 30 people joined, and then they sold 3, and that was like all they've had from August till December, and they brought me on in December. So
Okay.
and they haven't done any kind of outreach or any kind of like that in the community. And we're we're in between kind of like 2 metropolitan areas, and it's not like a high cost of living too. So it's if you can imagine people trying to pay $2,000-3,000 for in between other cities where their cost of
Yeah.
living is a lot lower than any of big
San
places.
Diego. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And how long has the dentist practice been around?
8, 12, 10 years, somewhere in there.
Okay. So they've got a good patient list then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So there's a couple of things. Hopefully it will be helpful. I'm not sure how helpful it'll be, because it's hard to say that this is like a Facebook ads problem, and that's your challenge, right? So if you came to me and you said, "Hey, Mike, these guys have this service that they sell very successfully. They've had really good, they have a good process for how they sell it, all that good stuff." Then I would say, okay, well, Facebook ads, this should be relatively easy, because all we need to do is drive people into that same sales process, right? Will there be some variation between the people that you get from Facebook ads and however they were getting customers previously? Yes. And so will it work exactly like somebody coming into the sales process from however they had been doing it previously? No, but it's going to be pretty darn close.
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't have a successful sales process in place already, you're really flying pretty blind, because you don't know. I mean, if you got 30 appointments and 2 showed up, that says, okay, we've got some problems with how we're getting those appointments booked, or how we're following up with them, or whatever. So we can troubleshoot that. But once somebody gets into the actual sales conversation with the dentist, if they don't close those deals, that could be that the dentist is terrible at making this pitch, right? They don't have a real solid pitch in place. So you've got a little bit of, well, not a little bit. You've got a good challenge there, and hopefully you have a good dentist to work with, that they can understand that and are willing to work with you, and try some things and stuff like that. Just to throw out there for everybody listening to this is exactly why I don't recommend that anybody builds their business doing ads to high-end services for dentists. This type of thing with small businesses is a nightmare,
Yeah.
And the reason why it's a nightmare is because of exactly what I just described. Like this dentist, I would if I were to put 100 dentists in a room and try and identify which one of those was actually good at managing any sort of sales process,
Mm.
I might be lucky if I come out of there with a couple of them, and the rest of them I'd just be like, yeah, you're a dentist. You don't know anything about sales. You don't know anything about marketing. You probably don't like sales. You probably don't like marketing. You probably think it's distasteful. So anyway, this is the challenge with most small businesses, and um, so I would say, to go back to your question though, of how you can try and improve the results that you're getting right now.
Mm.
Um, One, I would say that if you could, so let me just understand, you're running Facebook ads. These are so cold Facebook ads to
Mhm.
some sort of what are they hitting when they first land on those ads or from those ads?
It's a lead form. I can I don't know if I can screen share here, but
Yeah, you
yeah, lead
can.
form.
Yep.
Okay. I have, is it settings or?
I don't know. It's a good question. You should see something that says present. Um,
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes
yeah,
sense.
that.
Share
Okay, go
screen.
ahead and hit that, and then I'll see it pop up here, and I can show it.
Um, right here.
There we go.
So I'm not sure if they'll switch tabs, but this is the actual ad that I'm running through UpHex.
Okay,
Um,
we will say.
and then, sorry, I was going to show you the pictures, but I'll let you read that real quick. And then,
Yeah, current
sorry.
day, clinically proven. Surrender back to the clock. Say goodbye. Okay, claim your $300 discount now, limited time. Okay, very useful glow. Okay, and so they fill out some sort of lead capture form.
And then, let me see if I can click through the present, and I'll just show you the one more time the results from it real quick, and then you can.
Okay.
Well, it might show the. Well, I'll just tell you so they don't show the clinic, but it's 237 link clicks, 35 results, and this is from January 1st to February 1st. It's a $20 CPM, 4% click through rate all the way through, and then 1.1% link click through with $12 right at $11.93 for per result for
And
that
a result is a filled
lead.
out form or an appointment.
It's filled out form. So yeah, 30. It's kind of 35 of those filled out forms, and then I've had about 8 in conversation, probably 10 or 12, but that was before I kind of had the nurture system in there. But since then, I've probably about 60 to 70% are responding. Hey, interested. This is a time I could, and so they kind of join the conversation as compared to people that sign up and then don't ever say anything again.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
I
So
yeah.
So I'm sorry. So that first step is a lead capture form,
Yes,
and
sir.
then from that lead capture form, how do they go to booked appointment?
So automatic. They go into the workflow through HighLevel, and it's an automatic. Thanks for signing up. What day? What's the best day and time that works for you? And then just yesterday, I introduced like a PDF. It's like a 6-page PDF, kind of based on Donald Miller's sales script, story brand sales script. And then I just sent that, and then the first time it got sent through, the woman booked an appointment. So hopefully that turns out. But yeah, so they get an automatic text, and then the bot comes back through and says, "Hey, what day we'll book it?" And then it goes, and it's kind of weird because they use a system called Weave, which is like a dentist. It almost looks like HighLevel, but it's like a dentist-oriented one, and so all their uh, calendars and everything gets worked through there. So I got to kind of take it from my HighLevel calendar and then be like, hey, here's what it looks like. So I essentially got to, which I'm fine. I'm only 3 months into this, so I'm
Yeah.
still can kind of do the unscalable stuff first. But
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. And I
um,
think that's a great lesson for everybody, is be willing to do that to start to figure things out. Okay, so 35 out of roughly 250 clicks, you said.
yes, sir. 240.
Okay, so that's like a 14% opt-in rate, which is not great.
Okay.
So that would be the first place that I would in this process. I would just start to troubleshoot because your click through rate was not bad. Um, could be better. It sounds like if the link click through rate was 1 point whatever percent, I'd love to see the link click through rate to be more like 2.5%. So I would
Yeah.
definitely be experimenting with the ads for sure.
Okay.
And then that opt-in rate, yeah, I would definitely I would work on split testing that landing page because I would love to see that as a 25% minimum opt-in rate. I mean, if
Okay.
somebody's clicking on an ad where it's clear that that's what they're expected to do is to like opt in to get a coupon or a discount or whatever it is, a 14% opt-in rate is not good. It makes me think it could be that the form itself, I mean, it could be that the page itself that you're using is not designed well, or the form is not designed well. It could be some sort of technical, like when an opt-in rate is real bad, I look at technical issues to make sure there's not something funky happening. But I would then tweak that, and then on the actual getting them to book an appointment, I would test. I would test a couple things. So one is having a call go out right away. And again, this is dependent upon resources and things like that. But for the value of these customers, having somebody make a call real quick and saying, "Hey, we got your information. Love to go ahead and book you on the calendar. Here's some openings," and just seeing if you can get more conversion that way. Not that you wouldn't also do the follow-up sequence. Should do the follow-up sequence. Do both if you can. If you're not going to get the phone call done for whatever reason, then just make sure that follow-up sequence that you're doing is pretty darn thorough, and should be done over several days. Over like the next 7 days. If you're not getting somebody booked, I would keep following up pretty aggressively for like the next week.
Okay.
And then. And so how many follow-up touches are you doing right now?
I think it's set up for 4 days. And then that's if they don't respond initially. And then the bot, I'm still dialing in through OpenAI. So I'm trying not to make her too aggressive, but she encourages pretty well, as long as they're still talking and don't say stop. So
how many touches over those 4 days?
1 a day.
Okay. You want to definitely increase that, and you want to use a variety of channels. Okay. So my very first training that I put out into the marketplace is a product called the Chase Formula, and the Chase Formula is essentially how to turn interested prospects into actual, sales conversations, calendar bookings, whatever it is. And all the statistics show that over like that first 7 days, you need to plan on following up like 15 times.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it should be concentrated towards the front. So like day one is literally like 4 follow-ups, like an immediate text, immediate email, immediate phone call, wait a couple hours, do it again. I mean, it's like, it's aggressive. And
sorry. When you say follow-up, are you still interested kind of thing? Are you going to try to build more valuable into the actual service? Like, hey, this is a good solution for you type thing, or do you deal with this kind of problem?
I think that goes with the sales process, unfortunately. And that's why I'm saying that's kind of tough. I mean, if I'm doing any sort of automated follow-up, so emails and things like that, I would include some content that educates and testimonials, validation, things like that if we can. But I would have it be very clear that it's a call to action to try and get them into the next step.
Okay.
So I would like, if it was an email as an example, it would be, "Hey Troy, thanks for getting in touch. We received your information. We'd love to get you booked. Here's exactly the step to take to get booked," right? And then it would say, "Here's why this service is so amazing," and it would give a testimonial and give some data around it. And then it would end with, "Here's how to book your appointment." So like it's going to be pretty aggressively a call to action.
Yeah.
But you want to increase the volume and frequency of that. And then so that, I mean, that honestly, that alone should get a decent amount more conversion going from the people who have opted in.
Okay.
Once you get somebody to to get to the point of booking on the calendar, to get more show up, there's a handful of things. So one is, how do you increase the commitment of them getting on the calendar in the first place?
Like a
And then
deposit.
the obvious way to do that is to charge.
Yeah.
So, you could do some sort of, it's an initial consultation, and you're going to be meeting with our dental team. So we have to charge, for that. It's $100. It's a discounted rate of $100 or $50 or whatever it is. And then if you decide to move forward with a service, that gets credited back towards your treatment.
Okay. Awesome.
So that's one to test. This is why, like with live in-person events, you usually want to charge, even if you're just charging $25 or something like that. The show up rate goes up tremendously. There's other ways of getting psychological commitment even without money, though. So like, one of the tricks that I love about, if you're holding a live in-person event, and let's say you're going to give them lunch, it's a lunch and learn type of thing, right?
Right.
Just the fact that you are getting them to choose a menu item that they want for lunch increases the likelihood that they're going to come tremendously.
That's awesome.
Because they feel like they've committed to, oh wait, now you're actually going to make that food for me.
Yeah.
Versus when it was just lunch is included, it was kind of like, in your mind, you're kind of going, oh, it's like a buffet or something. If I don't come, it doesn't matter. Right? Who cares? The food's just going to be there anyway. But when you actually choose your menu item, so hey, Troy, thanks. We're super excited to meet you. We've got 2 lunch options: steak or salmon. Which one would you like? And you choose salmon. Your chances of showing up actually go way up, right? Because there's that increased personal commitment. So if there's something like that in that process that they can choose when they book, you're going to give them when they show up, that type of thing. I just don't know enough about this service, but if there's anything that you can think of that could fit in that model. And then the third thing is just follow up, just reminders. I don't know how aggressive you're being with the reminders and the follow up and all that good stuff, but
yeah, they're in a workflow for that once they book. So I like that personal commitment one, and makes me think, what kind of items they can ask them in their gift bag or something like that they want to choose, like a color.
So those are the big things. And then you're into the actual sales process and how you convert these people. That's beyond the scope of the call, unfortunately.
Out of my hands at that point.
Yeah. So
awesome.
But I will say, Troy, 1, good luck, and 2, I hope that you will get into my high leverage agency program if you're not already in there, and build your business around assets and automation instead of the amazing talent that you're going to work hard to try and demonstrate for these customers. Because you'll have a much happier business model in the long term.
I appreciate that, and I'll look into it for sure. Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks.
All right, let's see here. I just removed myself. There we go. Okay, cool. Let me just go through some more questions in the comments here, and then I will get back to, I see some other people in the chat room. Hold on one second. Let's see here. Okay. I'm still trying to figure out what to offer and to whom, but my main concern is how to service customers at scale. And setting up my own account, I realize that technical difficulties are real. Absolutely. Hey, hang on one second, guys. I'm going to be right back. Sorry, I just want to get some air going through here. Okay. So, this is a great question. This is perhaps the single most important question in making you be thoughtful about choosing your model carefully. Okay, because scaling with the wrong model is incredibly difficult. Okay, so we want to make sure, and this goes back to the conversation I was just having with Troy there, is as much as possible that we don't make our lives harder than they need to be. Okay, this is my favorite quote from Warren Buffett, right? Is that you don't get any extra credit in business for degree of difficulty. Okay, if you're a gymnast in the Olympics and you do a harder routine, You're theoretically get extra credit from the judges, and they're supposed to award you more points because you did more challenging things than the other gymnasts, right? In business, nobody cares about your degree of difficulty, and nobody is going to reward you simply because you've decided to operate a harder business. Okay, that's not the way life works, unfortunately. So, or maybe fortunately. So you want to have the best business model and service model that you can possibly have to accomplish providing real value for your customers, but doing it in a way that is relatively easy. Nothing is just easy, but relatively easier for you to scale and drive the kind of profits and lifestyle that you want to have. And so the first thing when it comes to what should you offer, okay, and I'm going to assume that you are using HighLevel, and although you may not be using HighLevel yet, I'm still going to assume that for the purposes of this call, because I am so adamant that you should be using HighLevel, whether you're using it through me or not. Just use HighLevel so that your life can be easier, and that you can build a more scalable and profitable model. I really, after being in this industry for as long as I've been in it, you're not going to convince me that there's a better resource for you to use to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. And so the key with HighLevel and with any tools or resources that you use in this industry, if you're selling to small businesses, is that you build your service delivery on what I was saying before to Troy, assets and automation. And I'll throw a third one in there, access. So access, assets, and automation, okay? Instead of time and talent. The typical agency model is time and talent. I'm going to bill my time to do smart things for you because I'm a talented human being, and you're going to then benefit from that. So I'm trading my time and talent for money, which is a horrible business model, particularly when you're working with small businesses, because they just don't have the money to pay you enough for that time and talent. Okay? So assets, let's start with actually automation. Okay? That's the HighLevel tools. Okay? We all know the value of software. We all know that software is an amazing enabler of getting things done at businesses. And we all know that it's an incredible business model. Okay. So the fact that we have this HighLevel system that we can deploy with software margins for us, okay, we're not just getting some 20% resale bonus commission like you get if you were selling most software platforms. You're getting all of the commission. You get to set the prices. You get all of the margin. So you're getting software margins built into your service, and all the value of automation and all these incredible tools built into your service. So you would be crazy to not make that the foundation of your service. Okay, so going back to DigiCapitalist's question of what should I offer, a foundation of it should be those incredible tools. Okay. The next layer on top of that, though, because I always stress that tools are not enough. Okay. You can take HighLevel, and as you said, the technical difficulties are real. And you are somebody who's actually in this industry and is looking to use these software tools, right? Can you imagine if you're a plumber who has zero interest, zero training, zero, anything in any of this marketing stuff and SaaS and any of this, and all of a sudden you just drop those tools in their lap and say, there you go, $297, $497 a month, right? You will be 1 month into it when they cancel, because that plumber has zero knowledge or understanding or interest in what to do with those tools that you just dropped in their lap. So we can't just deliver the tools. We've got to deliver these assets on top of the tools. What do I mean by assets? Well, if I'm a plumber and I log into HighLevel and there is a funnel builder Well, now I've got to build a funnel. What the hell is a funnel? And what kind of funnel should I have for plumbing? I have no idea, right? So you should build the assets for them that create these powerful marketing systems leveraging HighLevel's tools. So the tool is the funnel builder. The asset is you build the funnel, you build the pages, you put the content in there, you create the workflow with the automated follow-up sequences. You write what those sequences are. Okay, so that's the assets. And that could be landing pages, websites, email campaigns, SMS campaigns, any number of things, right? Access is what you are selling. Access is access to this system, right? So that's what they are paying for, is access to it. Why is that so important? It's such an important concept to understand. It's not just something to just blow off and go, well, yeah, of course they're paying for access to the software. They're paying for access versus you creating something custom for them and then selling that to them, which is what the typical agency model is, right? Typical agency model is, oh, you want a new website? You want a new funnel? Yeah, great. I'm going to set up a funnel. I'm going to design it, make it all for you. You're going to pay me $5,000. There's your funnel. We are now separated and it's all done. You're not paying me for anything else, right? I gave you the funnel. That was what you paid for, and I delivered it. Okay. In this model, we don't want to just give them the funnels and the follow-up sequences and stuff. It is part of our marketing system, what I call a signature system, that we've created for them and that they are paying for access to. But if they stop paying for access to that signature system at some point, then what happens? It gets turned off and they no longer have those awesome funnels and awesome follow-up sequences and all that stuff, right? So the pain of disconnect is high. So it's an incredibly important part of your service delivery. You're not just dropping something in their lap and saying, it's done, it's yours, you own it. You are creating this marketing system and you are selling access to it. And the day that they stop paying, it gets turned off. Okay, that's a totally different model, totally different value proposition. So going back, Digicapitalists, to what you are asking, here's what you should be selling. If you don't know what to sell, here's what you should be selling. You should be selling all of these core features of HighLevel: CRM, opportunity pipeline management, universal inbox, reporting, task management, and all of the reputation and resell capabilities that I have listed right here. Okay, sell them all of these capabilities, or most of them. I'm not saying that you have to have every single one of these, like depending on the business that you're working with. You don't have to set up an anniversary campaign necessarily or a birthday campaign, right? The plumbing business probably doesn't need a birthday campaign, right? But a service anniversary campaign, they should have. Hey, it's been 1 year since we, last did your, inspection of whatever. It's time for your inspection again, right? That's an anniversary campaign. So set up access to those core capabilities, and you now have a customer that, with, again, you layering on some assets on top of there, you have them with a website or a landing page or some funnels, capturing reviews, using web chat to capture more prospects, missed call text back to capture more prospects, calendar services to make it easier for them to book their services, lead capture forms so they're capturing leads. You have the conversation tab where they're now doing messaging back and forth with their prospects and customers from all kinds of different channels in one inbox, right? You have some email campaigns and SMS campaigns that are going out on their behalf. You have them using a system that is going to be very, very hard for them. Once they are in there using it, it's going to be very hard for them to get out of that, because there's so much value, not just because they're trapped in some negative way. It's because you're delivering so much value. Most small businesses are not doing any of this stuff, taking advantage of any of this stuff in an effective way. And many of them are just not taking advantage of it at all. So that's a huge, huge value proposition. that you can deliver for them. And you may say, well, Mike, where do I get these assets that you're talking about? And isn't that really hard to deliver and to design? Well, no, websites, there's so many templates in HighLevel now that you can just grab website templates, use custom values, and make very minimal changes to them and launch a website for your customer. Same thing for landing pages, same thing for beautiful email campaigns, because those are all designed in really nice templates as well now in HighLevel. So you have all of these incredible assets that you can just turn on with slight configuration and deliver to your customer. And then the question of, well, then how does that scale because of the technical difficulties? And this is why you've got to jump in with both feet, get your hands dirty, understand HighLevel, because the reality is once you've set that up and you've provided the onboarding and the training for the customer to understand how to use those capabilities and use the assets that you've put in there, now it's almost entirely a self-service thing in this particular model that I'm describing. And there's other ways to it's more than one way to skin a cat. You could offer a more hands-on service if you want to, but in this particular case, it's now pretty much them just using the software, using the assets that you've created for them, and it's a very hands-off software-like model. Okay, and that's how that then scales. And again, you could offer, depending on who you're providing services to and what services you're providing, you may want to offer a more hands-on service for them. So like maybe over here, you're actually managing, running some ads for them, using UpHex or something like that, just like Troy was. But I would recommend doing it in a much more scalable and just kind of productized way. But, you could be running ads for them as well. So a little more hands-on, service. You could be posting social content for them if you wanted to. So a more hands-on service, but you don't have to. Okay. There's lots and lots of businesses that are built, right? HubSpot doesn't run ads for their customers. They don't run giveaway campaigns for their customers. They don't do social posting for their customers. HubSpot sells tools, sets those customers up on those tools and trains them on how to use the tools, and then collects their recurring income, right? And is a huge business by doing that. So you don't have to go to the point of where you're providing a real hands-on service if you don't want to. And of course, that makes your business that much easier to scale. So the question that I often get asked from somebody who says, well, Mike, this is a lot. How do I get somebody into this? And that's the foot in the doors that I teach in my training, right? So instead of selling all of this right out of the gate to every prospect, you may just say to them, hey, look, you've got an old, outdated website. It's not ranking well. It's not mobile optimized. You don't have lead capture forms on it that are working. Why don't we just get you in a new website? $97 a month. We're not going to charge you anything up front for the design of the website. We're just going to charge you for hosting and access to our integrated tools that we're going to build into that website to help it be a more effective marketing and sales tool for you. And so you get them up and running on a website at $97 a month, and then you upsell them into the more complete capabilities of the system. So that's the two-step process that lots and lots and lots of people are having success with, right? Jonathan, who I don't know if is on this call, but Jonathan, who moved to California recently, and he was the gentleman that I saw at the HighLevel Summit, he just took my training on how to do the websites at $97 a month, and he sold like 30 of them in his first month and a half just by cold calling. So, just picking some of those basic foot in the door services and focusing on selling those, particularly if you're new to this industry and you're still trying to get your feet wet and, trying to really understand how to sell and all that stuff, those are much easier to sell than selling the complete value proposition from scratch, right? The complete value proposition from scratch is more intimidating to sell. It's more complicated. It requires more understanding on your part on how to set it up, all that stuff. So this is your ultimate goal of what you're trying to sell, but you may want to sell the foot in the doors first to get them in, because that is an easier way to sell. Okay. So I hope that helps you. I'm looking for any follow-up that you have here. I hope that helps you. That is the simple answer. If you say to me, if anybody comes to me and is like, Mike, I just don't know what to sell, I don't know how to sell, then just sell this and start with some foot in the doors to get you into this. That's it, right? Website as a service. Let me set up a chat bot for you. Let me set up my AI chat for you. Let me do missed call text back for you, right? Those are all common foot in the door services that you could offer. Let me do any of those things for you to get you going. But ultimately, this is what you're selling. Okay. And then, as many of you know, there's lots of other options in here on ways that you can set up a little bit more sophisticated services, sophisticated value propositions, things like that. And I share these with you because some of you have more experience. Some of you are selling into more competitive niches where there's already somebody doing this real well. And so you want to offer something that's a little bit more advanced to separate yourself in the marketplace. Awesome. You can do those things as well. It just kind of depends on where you are and where you're coming from and all that stuff. But that is this one is the simple, just get out there and get selling. Okay. I hope that helps you. And of course, any other questions that you have, I'll do my best to answer. Daryl, you ready to come on? Awesome. How's it going, sir?
Can you hear me? Do I have to enable a microphone or anything? Awesome.
You're great.
All right. So, Mike, I have a couple of questions for you since I first joined, working with your company. And so here, this should be a pretty quick question. Your 4 R's, reputation, reach, resell, retarget. You also have like 3 packages under each of those. So here's my question for you, because I might have missed, how you put this together. Do you sell all 4 of those and then a basic pro premium? Or are you saying like pick reach and then sell 3 levels, or pick resell and sell 3 levels? Otherwise, I'm trying to figure out, I'm having a hard time understand, like, how do you sell that? Because to give you an idea, I have what I call basic biz, competent biz, and advanced biz, right? Like bronze, silver, gold. And the way I do it, my industry is home service companies, landscapers, HVAC, plumbers. And so I want to get them into like, just get them started with like a web chat and all that. But then I'm like, oh, maybe this basic pro and premium that you offer would be a good idea, because I've had questions like, hey, I'm paying for these emails. You know what I mean? Or, why am I paying for a phone call? Right? Because we're tracking calls and things like that. So that's my number one question, or my first question is that separate? Do you just offer the, one of those and then do basic, pro, and premium? Or do you have all 4 with 3 each?
Okay. So those are great questions. And the first answer I'm going to give you, and then I will explain what I mean and why. It is that there's no specific right way of doing it. So what I am showing you there is a framework as to how you could do it. Okay. But let me explain that a little bit more fully here to make sure I try and give you more direction. Okay. So first, think of the 4 R's as to start with. Just think of it as your marketing and your sales conversation framework to communicate to the small businesses that you're dealing with that you understand sales and marketing and how to grow their business, and that you are trying to simplify as much as possible, communicating to them what it is that they need to do from a marketing perspective to grow their business. Because most small businesses have no clue when you say marketing. They like, most of them probably in their heads just go, oh, run ads. That's marketing, right? So what you're doing is you are simplifying this concept of marketing and making it more real for them by saying, hey, when we say marketing, when we talk about putting in marketing systems to grow your business, we refer to these 4 marketing systems: reputation, reach, resell, and retarget. And you explain each of those and why that is, right? Reputation, your reputation is your most important thing in business. It's something that most businesses, though, are just kind of passive about in terms of They're trying to provide great products and great services, and they think that that's enough to develop and maintain the reputation that they want. But in today's world, reputation actually means a lot of things and comes from a lot of different sources. It's how does your website show up? How does it show up on a mobile phone when they're driving down the road and they're not supposed to be looking, but they are? Does your mobile website pull up? Is it optimized? Is it easy to read? Is it fast to load? Can they easily contact you through that? When they search and they find reviews, what does that say about your reputation? What does Google think about your reputation based on the structure of your website and how current it is and modern it is? So we're explaining those are all components of a successful reputation marketing system for small businesses. And then we say, you have that really solid foundation, that really solid house. Now you want to be able to reach as many now new prospects and customers as you can. And now it makes sense to make that investment to reach more of them because you do have a solid foundation now. We've made sure that you've got those reputation systems in place. So yeah, let's go ahead and spend some money on trying to reach new prospects. And that's where things like running ads and stuff like that come into play, right? Mm-hmm. So again, most small businesses just think about running ads, and they oftentimes, when we talk to them about marketing, they go, "Oh, we've tried some ads with blah blah before, and it didn't work." And part of the reason it doesn't work is because that reputation stuff is a disaster. And then they go and run ads. Well, it's like throwing gas on the fire, and it's not a good situation. So so you're just using those 4 R's to explain conceptually what marketing is, what you're going to do for them, and also just position yourself as an expert, somebody who can articulate to them, here's what you need to do to grow your business. Most small businesses have never heard that clearly from somebody before. Okay.
Now, one caveat about this, I will say, is my customer base, who I'm targeting, are $2 to $10 million home service businesses. Okay. So a lot of them do have people on staff, and they are familiar with systems. In fact, that's going to be my second part. Is I was going to ask you for recommendations of who I could talk to, because a lot of them use Service Titan or a similar system. The reason I was asking you that before, Mike, is because I'm trying to figure out how to do that. Is there something within HighLevel where I can put that on my website, and then they can choose like when they click on it, it's like, do you want basic, pro, or premium? Because that's what I do. I go and meet with them. I go through my own system because I know their businesses. I say, listen, you were, the guy cutting grass, and then you came in and you brought other people to take things off you. And now you have your operation system, and what you forgot was to put in a marketing system. That's, and then they're like, right, I need a market. So that's my lead into HighLevel overall. And then I just send them to the website right after I've met with them. And I'm like, let's start with what I call the basic.
Yes.
And they all are eventually wanting to move up. But the reason I'm asking is because when they go to the website, I can only list basically 3 things. And I say, join this. But I would like to do a basic, pro, premium when they click on it. Like if they're like, oh, I want more people to have access. You know what I mean? They choose it. I let them choose. I don't sign them up. So that's what I was asking you. I didn't know if there was a way to do that, or if that's just the way that you're saying you can do it this way if you want.
Gotcha. And so you have your service packages designed the way that you want them then?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, then I will stop my rant. So in terms of how to set up with those options like that, in terms of like making it a drop down to choose.
Well, I didn't know if you did that. That's why I was asking you. So like, for example, let's say you have reputation, reach, and resell.
Yeah.
And then under those, like if I was like, oh, I just want reputation right now, but I have 5 employees, I would want a pro. Yep. So I didn't know if you had like a thing where you're like, I offered those 3 R's and then a basic, pro, and premium.
So the way that I think I would do that with HighLevel is that with HighLevel, you can set up in the SaaS configurator, you can set up the multiple packages now. So I would set up reputation plan 1, reputation plan 2, reputation plan 3, that depending on how many employees or whatever, that would be the different price points and different access and different credits and all that type of stuff that they would get included in each of those. So 3 different plans. And then I think the easiest way to do that without having somebody that's a little bit of probably like some sort of custom coding help you out is I would probably use a survey, and I would just have them answer basic questions real quick and then take them to the right plan for them. So, you're signing up, which service are you interested in? How many employees do you have? That type of thing. And then it would just drop them to the page that then has that correct SaaS plan
Gotcha.
configured on.
Okay. All right.
I think that that's what I would do. The other option, like if I had somebody like kind of custom design this, I would put, here's our reputation plan. And if you do package A, it includes all these things. Package B, it includes all those plus these. Package C, it includes all those plus these. And then you would just choose your little button that you wanted for which one of those. And then it would add the right thing to the cart for you and all that. But I don't think that there's an easy way to do that right now with HighLevel. I don't think.
Okay. I'll figure that out. And like, yeah, I just wasn't sure if you had something. I just wanted to ask you if you already had something or
No.
But
Nope.
I get it now. Totally makes sense.
Yep.
So then here's my main question. So it's with home services, those companies, I understand them very well.
Yeah.
And like I said, I always know it comes from the founder, the guy that did it, to all of a sudden just getting into the business without knowing business, right? It's like the dentist. They don't know business. They know dentistry. Now they're running a business. And so it's been an easy sell when I say, like, now you need a marketing system. You have all the other system. Like, let me get you started. And so I am running into people who I'm having an issue with the automations. And so instead of me trying to, like, their sales teams are never as good as they think they are. The people that answer the phone are never as good as they think they are. Thank you, HighLevel, for recording the calls, right? Because my basic level is always a call tracking number, always. Yep. And I do, like, we track what they get from Google, even if they don't do ads, just like the search. And then I'm like, every other number's everything else. So now we can see how many are coming from Google, period.
That's awesome.
They're like, I want to put one on my site too. Cool. Great.
Yeah. It's amazing when they see that data and all of a sudden realize,
brother, I'm telling you, this is the foot in the door, because a lot of them they have no system. They're tracking nothing for marketing, nothing.
I'm so glad to hear you say. So Daryl, I'm so glad to hear you say that for a number of reasons, because there's a lot of feedback I've been getting lately from people going, oh, it's too hard to use the call tracking numbers now and stuff because of the regulation, the hoops that you have to go through to get set up.
No, it's not.
Thank you.
Thank you. Once you figure it out and you copy and paste what HighLevel puts in there, just like RTFM, right? Read the friggin' manual.
Thank you. Yes, anyway, thank you so much, because there's way too many people that are checking out now from that value proposition, and it's a big mistake. So please continue.
So Mike, for what it's worth, whether I have a landscaper who has one call desk person, or I have a home, they do HVAC and plumbing, and they have like 3 or 4, just for the owner, the founder, to go in and be able to listen to the calls. It is like, I can sell that all day long.
What an eye opener. Yeah.
All day long. And the fact I have a personal friend, I download it, I send it to him. I'm like, this is how they're answering the phone. Just so you know. Hello. Anyway, awesome. So now that I'm kind of going through this, and what I want to do is I really want to get down in this niche, because Service Titan just doesn't offer everything. Here's where I'm running into the issue. And so maybe you can point me in a direction. Maybe you can say I have something in the program and I'm overlooking it. Is I want to set up automations. Guys, when Mike talks about automations, it is just a game changer, not just for you as a business owner, but for the business.
Yeah.
Right? Because they have a hard time running a business. These guys are like stressed. They're staying up at night. How am I going to pay bills? People are calling them for jobs. They're not showing up. Like these guys. So I'm trying to be like that lifeboat for them, right? For people, because nobody cares about a business owner.
Yeah.
Right. They're just millionaires. They have no worries. Like
exactly. They're all rich. They all just,
So what I'm having an issue is I'm running, to give you an example, a Facebook campaign. We have an amazing, like, just minimum, like, offer, right? So it's $79 to clean out their dry event. It's totally kicking ass. Tons of things coming in. So as I got them into the system, like over the past few months, I'm like, okay, now let's set up a pipeline and let's see good leads, bad leads, who's converted, who's scheduled, all of this. Now, because now we can track that. Now and they have somebody manually going in and moving them. I got it to that point. The issue I'm having, Mike, is the automation is to like, I can't set the system up to follow up with them because when they mark that person as sold or whatever, it's done in their like Service Titan program. And because this is a marketing system and there's no way I'm going to ask them to give up those kind of programs because that's their dispatch. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know how much you know about, but that's how they dispatch their plumbers. That's how they dispatch them. And so all their invoicing and everything is done through that system.
Yep.
I can't ask them to come on because like HighLevel is just not a dispatching system. It's not what it's for.
Yeah, I
So
got
I'm having a hard time to figure out, like, how do I set up an automation when they have a customer base here that I'm pulling in with Google and Facebook ads? Then they have a customer system here of, you know, all the work and invoicing that they've done. So it may not be a question you can answer. Can you point me in a direction of somebody who's good with service-based businesses, somebody who's done this? I'm not sure because this is where the disconnect is.
Okay. So it sounds like there's two things. One is just getting the data from one place over to the other, right?
Well, I don't know if there is a way. I mean, is there a way we can connect the CRM? Because you have a CRM, like I said, that's doing all the leads, right? It's all the Facebook, all the Google, all of that within Go HighLevel. But then they use another program, and it's usually something like Service Titan or something comparable that does all the dispatching. And when their guys collect payments, they're going to collect it through that same system that they already have. Could I bring them on the Go HighLevel? It's just going to introduce more nightmares and more complications into people who have a hard time keeping employees, people who can barely train their staff. You know what I mean? And they're honestly, they're low wage workers. They don't give a shit.
So in Service Titan or whatever similar tool that they're using, once they've provided service to that customer, does Service Titan then do some follow-up from that point? Because now they're a customer, so they have like anniversary date service reminders and things like that built into it.
They do. Not as good as HighLevel, but they have a few things in there that they do. Yeah.
Okay. So let's just say that they're 100% happy with the capabilities of Service Titan from all of the things that it does, from scheduling, dispatching, billing, and doing at least some sort of follow-up. Okay.
A little bit, right? A little bit.
So then we'll say that the value of what you're going to offer them is then just getting as many people into that system as you can. Right? It's the marketing piece that you were saying. It's okay. Let's get as many people into that system because you're happy with it. Once you have people in that system, it's working. Your business is working. We just need more people in there. So that's the way I would think of it. Is from your service delivery perspective and the systems that you're using, you are 100% focused on how do I get people into the system. So everything from a sales and marketing perspective is done here. And then once they are a customer, they just get sent over. I mean, once they are somebody who wants to book for service, they then get moved over to the Service Titan system and processes, right?
Yeah. So what happens is when they go and Go HighLevel, I have an automation that sends out an email and a text to their teams, and they follow up with a call or something like that. So the leads never confirm anything through the Go HighLevel system. Everything's confirmed by a phone call from employees by staff. And so, and then once that's done, they put them into their system they're put into a outside of Go HighLevel system.
And is that a problem or is that the way that they do business?
That's the system they had before they started doing ads. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I guess what I'm saying is like to set up the automations and Go HighLevel, I can't set up a follow-up like, thank you for coming, or try this. Thank you for using the dryer vent. Have you considered this system? Because you know what I mean? I don't know if the Go HighLevel doesn't know if they followed through with the dryer vent.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think the focus of your service, the easy answer to this is the focus of your service is just everything to get them to the point of where they're making that phone call and booking them and putting them into Service Titan, and then you're done.
Okay.
And is there more that you could do for them? Obviously, yes. If you could get then the customer records back from them, and so that would be the next step. And I would only sell that personally. I would only then try and sell that to existing customers that I already have success with and a good relationship with. So let's say you've been doing the front end marketing for one of these guys for 6 months. everything's going great. They love you, have a great relationship with them. And you go, well, look, a next service that we can offer that I want to talk to you about is the fact that once these records are in Service Titan, there's no real follow-up marketing that's being done to then maximize the lifetime value of these customers. And I think you're leaving a lot of money on the table. What we can do is we can take those customer records back out now, out of Service Titan, and put them into these systems that I have for doing follow-up marketing, right, through my programs. So to do that, that can literally be a manual export of, hey, here's all of our customers in the last month who did the dryer vent cleaning service. And you just literally import those into HighLevel and put them into the workflows that you want to put them into. Or, there's almost certainly some sort of way that you could do like some sort of API, Zapier, something like that from those systems into HighLevel. Just have to figure out what that is. And once you've got it figured out, the nice thing is, since everybody's using Service Titan, it'd be very, very easy to then duplicate from that point forward. But that's what I would do, is I would take those records out and I would drop them into a workflow on your system and say, hey, it looks like you had a successful, vent cleaning, whatever, a month ago. And now here's, the next thing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Because if they're in their system, that means they booked. And when we do an import, we can update a current record with a tag.
Yep.
All right. What I'm going to do, Mike, is I appreciate it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to check the GHL Facebook group and just do a search for Service Titan and find that.
Yeah.
Just really quick,
probably somebody's figured out an integration already.
Yeah. And just by the way, your earlier guy, Troy, I saw an UpHex group. Sam had posted a video. He said his most powerful follow-up question to get somebody to confirm a booking was, I think, a minute or two. He posted in the Facebook group, by the way, in the UpHex one. He followed up with a text that said, hey, just wanted to confirm that you wanted this service. And then when they confirmed through that text, I think he said that's when they added them to the calendar.
That's cool.
Anyway, he posted that in the Facebook group like a week ago.
It's amazing how stuff like that makes things, makes such a difference. And actually, Troy, if you're still watching this, the one thing that I meant to suggest to you that I forgot is, instead of driving them to a landing page in a form, drive them right to a messenger chat and actually interact with them in Messenger, and then book the appointment from there. So I have some agencies who are absolutely crushing it with ads straight to Messenger, and then they have a quick conversation with them in Messenger, and it's just automated response for first few questions. And then depending on the answer to those questions, a live person gets in and communicates a little bit more. But what they're doing is they're pre-qualifying in that conversation. They're having a more human engagement that then is pre-qualifying that person more. And then they're literally sending them a paid booking thing right there on the spot. And so in their case, like I'll have an example, somebody doing a very, very basic cosmetic service. Let's just say that this basic cosmetic service is no more than $150. They're sending somebody a paid booking right there for $97 right there on the spot to hold your slot. And they're selling those like crazy. And so that $97 then gets applied to the $150 service once they do the service, but they're charging somebody that $97 just to hold the spot. So, and that's very successful. We're talking, multiple 7 figures successful. So, something to consider. And I think there's something with that chat bot where you're actually doing some kind of qualifying and relationship building conversation there, where that's resulting in a much more committed customer. Daryl, is there anything else I can help you with?
Thanks, man. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you as well. And keep on getting after it. I love it. Sounds like you got some good stuff cooking.
Appreciate it.
You bet. All right. Let's see here. So Logan says, if I keep updating my snapshot with new and improved templates, do existing clients get these updates to their account, or is it only for new clients? So I guess there's 2 answers to this question. There's one like from a technical perspective, how it happens, and then there's one from a service perspective. From a service perspective, I think that you should be giving them the updates. That's part of the value proposition of selling a system that they are paying for access to. Again, this is an incredibly important concept about this model. You are paying for access to a system that we are constantly measuring and improving, and you don't have to pay for that. So when we roll out the 3 new tested landing pages that we worked on, you don't have to pay us $5,000 to get these new landing pages that you will then own, right? It's just included in your service. So we continue to measure and improve everything we're doing. We have hundreds, ultimately, this is what you're going to be able to get to. We have hundreds of customers. We're testing various things all the time. We're seeing best practices of what's working, and we're rolling those out via improvements to our system. And the beautiful thing about that value proposition, guys, is who keeps on rolling out new shit for you to offer all the time? HighLevel. HighLevel rolls out new stuff constantly. So you constantly have these improvements that you're making to your system. You look like a freaking genius, right? It's like, hey, this month, guess what? We just rolled out an AI chatbot. And next month we rolled out we can now split test workflows, I guess. I didn't even know that. Sean said that yesterday. You have such incredible capabilities that are constantly getting rolled out. So from a service philosophy perspective and value proposition perspective, you want those updates to be a part of the deal. From a technical perspective, Logan, you have to actually have a refresh of the snapshot, delivered to that prospect or to that customer's account in order for them to get those new assets and updates. Okay. If it's assets that you updated, so like new website templates, new landing pages, things like that, it would require a refresh of the snapshot versus like some of the features of HighLevel are automatically, just going to be available in the system, right? Because that's not snapshot associated. Okay. Eric says, just got the install for sales system and we have a sub account already for our agency and go HighLevel. Should we start a new sub account? Yes. Eric, yes, please do. I recommend that everybody always has a sandbox, account for putting snapshots into first. So put it in there, play with it, modify it, or do whatever you want to do with it, and then decide from there then what you want to move into your live account. And always do that with every snapshot. Okay? We create, let's see here. We have about 100 clients. Awesome, Eric. I love it. About half in one town in Ohio and another half in Virginia. Should we set up a brand in each area to niche that area or just stick with one site? I personally, Eric, would just stick with one brand, one site, and then you may want to set up like, here are our 2 markets, and maybe there's a page for, people in Virginia, and there's a page for people in Ohio, and, talking a little bit about the team you have in Ohio versus the team you have in Virginia, something like that. You may want to do that. I've never had to go that far specifically in the past. The only thing that I've done really is like in different markets, just creating like different landing pages and stuff like that, and different call tracking numbers. So you have a local phone number to that market. I do think that helps, right? If somebody feels like they're calling a local number versus, hey, I'm calling some area code in Ohio and I live in Virginia. Why am I calling an Ohio number, right? So you can, obviously you can set up an 800 number, but I do think having localized landing pages so that you're tailoring the content on there just a little bit to be more local. And depending on those markets, you can do a lot with that. So like in our IT business, we were selling in Boston and we were selling in New York. Well, as you can imagine, if you know those 2 markets at all, there's a lot of tailoring that you can do to the messaging to make a Boston landing page different than a New York landing page, right? I mean, sports, Red Sox and Yankees and things. I mean, so there's just a lot that you could do there to make it feel more like a Boston page versus a New York page. So that's the type of thing I've done. Raul Jackson said, hey, Mike, I love the idea of offering clients a website with all the Go HighLevel automations for a monthly subscription, but I was wondering, don't we need to offer SEO as well so they actually get leads? Well, you could, Raul. So let's go back to our service package designer here real quick. You absolutely could. And exciting news that Sean dropped yesterday on our call is that apparently they are very soon going to roll out essentially like a full SEO, capability in the system so that, you can offer like real SEO optimization and have it be very tools based. So very much like Uber Suggest, if you're familiar with that, which I love. Because I've never been an SEO guy, but with Uber Suggest, I've gotten all, geeky on SEO and made dramatic improvements in my SEO. But it's tools based, which is perfect. So one, who was it? Raul. Raul, SEO is accomplished in a lot of different ways, right? Part of it is just, are they set up correctly? And most small businesses are not set up correctly. Their websites are just not structured correctly. They don't have the proper, header tags in there and all that type of stuff to even give it a chance at ranking. And so for most small businesses, just setting those things up properly will give them a big boost. Okay. Second thing is you have Yext. So if you want to offer Yext as a service, that's a brilliant service to help them get more visibility, make sure that that visibility is SEO optimized because it's accurate all over the place. So that's a huge one. Honestly, though, beyond that, Raul, unless you are an SEO expert, I would not offer anything else related to SEO. And the reason I say that is because that the next step really up from there, from an SEO perspective, is dramatically more work and more complicated and less certain about results and all of that stuff. So no, you do not need to. And this is one of the temptations that service providers often feel is, I've got to solve all the problems for the customer. I've got to make everything work and everything done just right. No, you don't. And certainly not for $97 a month or $297 a month. No, you do not. Okay. So don't convince yourself that you have to break your back to help your customers. Again, most small businesses, just by having a properly structured website that's, set up right, that's mobile optimized, that loads fast, that isn't breaking any of the major best practices, and has contact information on it and has a lead capture form on it, and then you're doing Yext, that's a dramatic improvement for probably 90% of small businesses out there. Okay. What Facebook ads target would you do for a free website offer, small business owners? What Facebook ads target would you do for a free website? Oh, are you saying would I target small business owners? Jason, if I'm just targeting in a local market, so just like San Diego, I would just run the ads wide open targeting. I would just target San Diego, and I would target like adults in San Diego. And then I would just make my offer, San Diego small business owners, free website. We're offering, free websites for 15 small business owners each month. Here's how to get in the queue to get yours, like that type of thing. And I would just run it wide open. And the reason why I say that is because Facebook's algorithm now does a good job of finding the right prospects based on who is clicking on the ads. I would also do that because everybody knows a small business owner. So let everybody see it, because then somebody sees it and they forward it to a small business owner. And then the third thing is because your targeting is dramatically cheaper if you just leave it wide open. And so in my experience, if you are targeting just a local community, it is almost always cheaper to just run your ads wide open. Certainly split test that, Jason. Super easy, obviously, just to copy the campaign over and do a split test with your targeting. But, test that. But that's almost always my approach. Now, if you are targeting just chiropractors and you're targeting chiropractors across the entire, Western United States or something, then yes, choose chiropractors, because now you're targeting a much wider geographic area. You need to hone in on who you're specifically trying to go after, or else you're going to waste a ton of money. Okay. Is UpViral still relevant today for viral referral marketing? I hate to say no, Michelle, but I think that the answer is it depends. And the reason why I hate to say no, because it's still a tool that works, it does its job, all that type of stuff. Are there many ways to do the same thing? Yes. But are there capabilities of UpViral that if you really dig into how to use them effectively, are you going to get some lift from using the full capabilities of the tool and doing it right and all that stuff? Yes. Okay. I am guilty of not doing that. I take a super simple approach to how I use UpViral. And so am I getting the lift that I could if I were being more strategic? No. And could I do it some other way? Yes, I think I could, and I would have no problem. So I think it is, and it depends, which I know is a lame answer. Sorry about that. Min says, "Hey, how are you?" We chatted back and forth. I remember many people know now white label, go high level, and sell with a cheap price, like $100 per month, even paying. Yeah, as agencies use a white label version, how can we differentiate our offer version with them? Well, okay, so one, you should not just be selling SaaS, as I've talked about previously in this call. You should not just be selling SaaS. You should be selling a marketing system. Okay, he is able to sell that because he has a huge audience of people that are marketers, or at least want to be marketers. Okay, his audience is all people who are doing online businesses and things like that. So he's able to sell that to them because they are marketers. Marketers can use marketing tools. Plumbers, pizza shop owners, all those businesses, the normal small businesses, they don't want to use SaaS marketing tools. They want a marketing system. Okay, so not just tools, a system. And if that isn't making sense, please go through my training. There's a free YouTube video where I cover the difference between those things. So it really depends on who you sell to. And if you are selling to the systems customers that I've described there, your price point's going to be a little bit higher. And yes, the SaaS is going to be a part of that overall system, but just a part. So you should have also websites, landing pages, follow-up campaigns that you've designed for them. You should offer some service on top of that, right? And that's how you're going to differentiate what you offer and differentiate your price points as well. Okay? So that is the answer to that question. Okay? Do you recommend just integrating HighLevel the way it is, or white labeling it? White label it. No, you should not be selling it as HighLevel out of the box at all. HighLevel is only supposed to be an agency brand. HighLevel, the brand, is just for agencies. So unless you're selling to agencies, no, you should be white labeling it and selling it as your brand. Okay? You should never, ever be selling HighLevel as HighLevel. In fact, I think it's against their terms of service unless you're selling to agencies. Did you ever use a Facebook ad to a landing page where they could sign up for the free website offer and pay the $97 hosting month right on a landing page? Yes, I would offer that. The reality is that the majority of people are still going to want to hop on a sales call with you. But yes, absolutely offer that. And you can, you just do both right on the same landing page, right? So it's just a, buy button or speak to someone link right below it. Like go on a web, HubSpot's website, you'll see that, right? Here's a buy button to sign up or a speak to a representative. So just do both. Yep. No. As soon as you're paying, you'll get access to high leverage agency. Yep. What kind of funnel would you offer for physical therapy? Just an appointment booking funnel, most likely. Although I would test offering some sort of like coupon or paid discount, so like a Groupon style, like your first physical therapy appointment. A physical therapy appointment is normally $275. Get your first appointment for only $50, and so actually sell them the $50 first appointment. So Groupon style, right, where you actually have to pay some money, but you're getting a really big discount. I would try that as well. Otherwise, I would just create appointment booking funnels that are based off of specific problems. So having back pain, having neck pain, having migraines, whatever. I mean, any of the common kind of physical therapy issues, and try and target people based on those symptoms right into appointment booking. No, website for like $97 a month, and it includes hosting. It includes, support, maintenance, updates, those types of things. It includes access to some of your marketing systems tools. So the universal conversation, conversations, or universal inbox is what I call it. That conversations tab includes a call tracking number, includes lead capture forms, includes basic follow-up sequences when somebody opts into those forms. So you're setting it up as much more than just a typical website. You're setting it up as a marketing tool. Okay. We have 100 clients on a $90 a month care plan. That's awesome. Would you try to upsell the complete system to start, or start by offering them all an upgrade to just a basic package with the foot in the door service? I would try that complete system. And the thing is, you're in a great position, Eric, and everybody should understand this, is once you have those customers in, you just keep rotating offers. Some offers are going to work for some people, and some offers are going to work for others. So roll out the, hey, everybody, you're on our $99 a month care plan. We now have this $297 complete system. Contact our team to get all the details, right? And a percentage of people are going to do that. And then the next month, you go, hey, we've got this, great new missed call text back service. Call our team to figure that out, or call this number to get a demo, right? And then call our team. And then a percentage of people are going to respond to that. And then the next month, you slice off a different version of your offer and put that out there, and you just keep on doing it. And your recurring revenue is going to grow, Eric. It's going to keep on growing. The foot door price ceiling at 97, 197 too high. You just got to test. I can't say, that there's a right or wrong with this. The higher your price, typically, the slower the transaction and the longer it's going to take and more difficult it's going to be to sell them. Okay. But depending on what your specific value proposition is it going to be that big of a difference between 97 and 197? Maybe not. If you've got a really compelling value proposition. The thing I would just always remind you to keep in mind is that there is a difference between a foot in the door offer and just a low price service plan. Okay. A foot in the door offer. When I say a foot in the door offer, I specifically mean that it is designed to speed up your sales process and to reduce the cost of your sales process and make it easier to get a new customer. Okay. That's different than from just a normal low price service. You could have low price services that aren't the best for selling, aren't the best for marketing, but they're a low price service. It's a $297 service, $197 service, but maybe it's more complicated to sell. It's a little bit confusing, all that type of stuff. It sells well to existing customers who you have a relationship with, and you have the opportunity to sell to them, but it's not the easiest thing to sell from a marketing perspective. It doesn't speed up your sales cycle. A foot in the door is specifically something that you're using to be very marketable to speed up your sales cycle. Sometimes that means you're not going to get the extra price that you want for it, the extra margin that you want for it. That's okay as long as you're strategically using it as a foot in the door. Okay, so make sure you understand the difference between a foot in the door and just a low price service and what you're using them for. Because at some point or another, if it's a foot in the door and you try and pad it with too much margin and too much price and all that stuff, you start screwing up its capability to be a foot in the door. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Eric, sounds like you're doing great. I love it, man. Mario, yeah, paper lead. Absolutely. All right, guys. And I'm sorry, Russell, I hate to do this, but I have to go. I have to catch my flight. Russell, if you wouldn't mind, sir, send me an email or hit me up on the chat widget with anything that I can help you with, and I will make sure and give you some individual attention here while I'm sitting in the airport, if that's cool, man. I'm sorry about that. Let's see here. Anyone else going to the mastermind? Looking forward to seeing you there. Awesome. All right, awesome, everybody. Look, I got to run to the airport. Thank you so much, as always, for being a part of the community. I appreciate your time and attention in business, as always. Thank you for being here on the call. It's great to have you here and great to chat with you. I'm sorry that I do have to run out of here, but I got to get going to the airport. So have a fantastic rest of your Friday and weekend, and we will see you next week for office hours. Let's see here. I don't know when it is because I'm going to Dallas for that mastermind. So I'm not exactly sure when office hours is next week. I'll keep you posted. For those of you who are going to be at HighLevel's mastermind in Dallas, I can't wait to meet you there. We'll go have a beer or grab some dinner or something like that. I can't wait. And yes, Lisa, go Niners. Go Niners. If you don't know, Niners are my lifelong team. So I'm very excited about this Super Bowl. It's going to be a tough one. But everybody root for the Niners, please. Have a good one, gang. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.